Hello everyone and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today's video is a fun project where I will be creating 3 cards using the Scandi Christmas 6x6 pattern papers by Paper Roses. This paper pad came with the SimonSaysStamp November Card Kit. I will be using just 2 of the pattern papers to create 3 different cards. One of which I will be using just to fussy cut out images, while the other paper I will be trimming into 3 parts to create the focal points for our cards. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my videos. Let us first take a look at all of the pattern papers that is provided in this paper pack set. I love how beautiful and colorful these designs are. They are so Christmassy, perfect for the holiday season. I have used almost all of these pattern papers to create beautiful focal points and backgrounds, which you will see in my future videos. Make sure you hit the bell icon so that you don't miss the next time I post a video using these pattern papers. For the base of my background panels, I will be using the 100-pound Midnight Green, Cream and Soft Navy cardstock by SimonSaysStamp, which is again part of the November card kit. The best part about working with a card kit is that everything coordinates with each other, just like these pattern papers which go beautifully with the cardstock. Now let's take a look at the pattern paper which I will be using to create our cards today. I love how this pattern paper has 3 sections of beautiful patterns that can be cut into stripes and added to our card front. I used my paper trimmer to cut out the 3 stripes of these pattern papers. Just like I mentioned before, just take a look at how beautifully these stripes go with our cardstocks. Here you will see that I have cut the cardstocks into A2 size panels, each measuring 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Let us now arrange each of the pattern paper strips onto the cardstocks. You can either use double-sided tape or any kind of liquid glue to adhere these strips onto the cardstock. Here's a look at the 3 panels with the stripes. You can choose to align the stripes anywhere on the cardstock. It may be at the center of the cardstock or on either side of the cardstock, just like I did here. To add a little extra shine and pop up our striped backgrounds, I cut very thin strips of gold cardstock to add a border on both edges of the pattern paper. I used a strong liquid glue to adhere the thin gold strips onto the cardstock. At this point, you can add a sentiment and adhere this background panel onto a pre-folded card base and call the cards done. I will be heat embossing my sentiments on all of these card fronts. The sentiment I am using today is from the Cozy Wishes stamp set from SimonSaysStamp. For our first card, I will be stamping and heat embossing the sentiment using VersMark Ink and black embossing powder from Ranger. Before using the VersMark ink or heat embossing on your cardstock, make sure to always use the anti-static powder tool. I like to stamp my sentiments twice just to get a crisp image. This is where the stamping tool comes in handy. I love the shine and the glossy effect that the embossing powder gives. Once I'm satisfied with my sentiment, I will go ahead and mount the background panel onto a card base using some foam adhesive. This will give an extra dimension to our card. You could stick this panel using double-sided tape or just normal liquid glue if you prefer having a single layered card. Once my card was done, I used the Studio G self-adhesive pearls to add a little bling on my card. Here's a look at the finished card. I love how simple and elegant this card turned out. Moving on to our second card. For this card, I have some small images that I fussy cut out using one of the pattern papers that was in the kit. But first, I cut out a circle using some white cardstock and a little bigger circle using some vellum. This will pop up my die cuts against this busy striped background. I used a strong liquid glue to fix the white circle onto the vellum circle and set it aside to dry by placing a stamping block over it. While my glue was drying, I went ahead and cut out the images from the pattern paper and set them aside in a small basket. I can use these cutouts for my future projects. For this background here, I chose the little trees to add as a focal point on my panel. Once I'm happy with the positioning of these trees, I will go ahead and adhere the trees using some liquid glue and pop up the middle tree using some foam adhesive. For my sentiment, I stamped the same Sending Warm and Loving Thoughts sentiments from the Cozy Wishes stamp set onto a white strip and gold heat embossed it. Since I already have some dimension with my focal point, I do not need any additional dimension for this background. So, I used some double-sided tape to adhere my panel onto the card base. To finish off my card, I added the same pearl embellishments around the focal point and used my Spectrum Noir glitter brush pen to add sparkle on the trees and the sentiment strip. Here's a look at our finished card. Moving on to the last and final card for today. Here, I used the same gold embossed sentiment strip and added a couple of fuzzy cut pieces. I'm using the small little gift boxes which match with the background strip on the panel. Again, for this card, since I already have some dimension with my focal points, I don't need any additional dimension for the background. So, I use the double-sided tape to adhere the panel onto the card base. I finished this card with my Spectrum Noir glitter brush pen and added sparkle on both the gift boxes, the tree, and the little lantern, and of course the sentiment strip. Instead of using the pearl embellishments here, I used my Sparkle Novo drops to add some shine to this panel. I love how this card turned out. Here's a look at all the 3 cards that I created today. I used just one pattern paper to create 3 different backgrounds and one pattern paper to cut out some images to add to the focal point of these backgrounds. I love that with this simple technique I was able to create 3 cards which were similar yet looked totally different from one another. Here's a closer look at the 3 cards that I created today. You could turn them into a set of 3 cards and gift it to a loved one for this holiday season. I love the SimonSaysStamp November Card Kit. It is so versatile and colorful. I will leave a link down in the description box below for all the supplies that I have used in today's video. Here are some close-up pictures of all the cards. Hope you had fun watching the video and got inspired to create your own holiday theme background using any kind of pattern papers that you might have. Tag me on my Instagram at rp_shutterbug with fun pictures of your projects. I will leave a link to that in the description box below. Also, mention your thoughts about today's videos and some card ideas and techniques that you would like to see in the future videos in the comment section below. Thanks again for joining me today. I would love for you to become a subscriber to my channel, and if you do subscribe, make sure to hit the bell icon so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple of other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.